And we will get underway this morning with Michael Robbins with the first talk. So thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you. This is not really a talk. This is just a booster shot. However, and I'm sure I'll be throwing away these pages very soon. Okay. That was such a brief introduction, I just caught me unawares. Okay. Okay. All right. This is a little 20-minute thing. Last night, we dealt with some of the anticipations of the spiritual renaissance, which lies ahead after 2025. And I would like to elaborate this subject just a little bit in terms of the fourth ray in general, anticipating a few of the important developments under the influence of the fourth ray. Now, we're not just talking about 2025, really. Of course, that's the time we're looking forward to, when the fourth ray, in its monadic aspect, makes its appearance. For who knows how many years, it could be 2,500 years, that this fourth ray is in power in this particular lesser cycle. Even 2,500 years is a lesser cycle compared to that great 40-some thousand year cycle that the fourth ray has been moving through. But we're speaking of the use of the fourth ray right at this very moment by members of the new group of world servers, among whom we should be finding ourselves numbered, or at least we should be aspiring to be members of the new group of world servers, and it's a fourth ray group. And we should use that ray at this time. The fourth ray has a very interesting thing. You know how it is related to the factor of procrastination? Yes, like this morning. Okay. Anyway, procrastination. That's why I think that final statement, "the hour is now," is very significant. The fourth ray is related both to the past and to the future, which is one of the reasons why it's related to the new group of world servers, who are supposed to bridge the past with the future so that no harmful disconnect really occurs. But it's related to the future in this way. At least this is what I think. Since the fourth ray is specifically the ray of intuition, all the 246 line is, but the fourth ray most specifically, it touches upon those pre-existent ideas which are waiting to precipitate into the consciousness of humanity in the present and as the present. So in a way, our future already exists on the plane of intuition and will emerge sequentially as what is called ideas whose time has come. So we see, the fourth ray in a way is the moon, which is the past, but the fourth ray in another way is Mercury, which touches the intuitional levels. So we are trying to touch those ideas whose time has come, and that is the future. And when you think about Sagittarius, it's a very future-oriented intuitive sign, and it also distributes the fourth ray. So we can see how looking into the future and using the fourth ray at the same time do go together. Using the Sagittarian impulse, we will attempt to open ourselves to the downflow of intuition with which the fourth ray is associated, and thus bring the future, the present, and the past all together in what we call the eternal now. This is achieved on the so-called mountain whereon form dies, which is another wonderful name for the fourth ray Lord. It means initiation where time and space are collapsed into one point, and the eternal now begins to be appreciated under the fourth ray and the Buddhic plane which the fourth ray rules. The hour is now. So that's another and higher meaning of the hour is now, collapsing the future, past, and present into one moment. If we are to wisely use what is coming, what is to descend from the archetypal planes into time and space conditions, we must understand the nature of that which is coming and anticipate its possible influence and uses. I think we're in a very dangerous transitional period at the present moment. It's full of potential and full of danger, and we could, as humanity, lose our balance under the sixth ray fanaticism, which is a bit recrudescent and which is on its way out. We have about another 100 years or so, maybe a little more, for the sixth ray still to be acting up. But very soon, I think it will be mostly vitiated. It will be mostly weakened. But right now, it's a very critical period, and we're in deep need of Libra and the fourth ray during this transitional period through which we are passing. I'll quote what DK says about this. He says, in this transitional period through which the world is now passing, and in this interlude between two activities, rather Libra, that of the Piscean age, which will be passing, and that of Aquarius, which is coming in, Libra will eventually rule during this transition period. Now, although Libra does not appear to bring in the fourth ray, you know, those who think about it find somehow the fourth ray associated with it. And at the end of the century, at the end of this century, and that's the 20th century, we'll see the influence of Libra steadily coming into pronounced control and into a position of power in the planetary horoscope, which we cannot cast, but we trust him on this. There is, therefore, he says, no need for real anxiety. Okay, no need for real anxiety. Of course, this was written before the Second World War, and it was written before the release of atomic weapons. Later, the Tibetans said some other things which could, on a bad day, make us a little anxious. We have to pass through the very end of this sixth-ray age using fourth-ray methods to keep the balance, and we've actually had, ever since 1924, in some mysterious subcycle, the fourth ray has been with us to a certain degree, and its intensification will now occur. The Master DK says the following, very interestingly about the ages of the fourth ray. He says, we're in the seventh ray of ceremonial organization is now coming in, and the sixth ray of devotion is now going out. Yet this sixth ray is in a major cycle, and its influence will not entirely disappear for another 21,000 years. Okay, I think it's probably a 150,000-year cycle. The number 15 is very important when it comes to the sixth ray. But in any case, the kind of sixth ray cycle that involves human incarnations and the sixth ray souls coming into very practical time-space activity will be going out in about 100 years. At the same time, he says, this sixth ray might well be regarded as the sixth sub-ray of the fourth ray of harmony through conflict, which has been in manifestation for several thousand years and will remain operative for another 40,000 years. We touched upon this yesterday. Yet, he says, at the same time, the fourth ray is out of manifestation as regards its minor and cyclic influence. So we're in a very, very great fourth ray cycle. We had been in a very minor fourth ray cycle since 1924, and in 2025, the fourth ray, perhaps for 2,500 years, perhaps for more, will come in under its monadic, under the monadic influence. So this takes us, 40,000 years, it takes us into the next great age of Capricorn. We have a 25,000-year age of Aquarius coming in, and then a 25,000-year age of Capricorn will begin, and somewhere in the middle of that age of Capricorn, long ahead, the fourth ray will disappear. It's all an amazing, well, just for a while, of course. It's all an amazing dance of cycles, which it is the prerogative of the masters to understand. And wouldn't it be great to understand those things when all knowledge finally comes our way on the third sub-level of the atomic plane one fine day. So, during this fourth ray cycle, I suspect there will be the emergence of what it means to be human. I don't think we know that yet. Not really. Humanity is meant to be Buddhic in its expression. We are the members of the fourth grade of hierarchy. We are human beings, most of us, I think, and are meant eventually to express the fourth ray soul of humanity on the Buddhic plane. And some small anticipation of what this really means will be required of us during this smaller golden age, which is now entering a kind of minor Satya Yuga, according to Sri Yukteswar and other methods of counting the yugas, which are quite different from Blavatsky. We will finally learn what it means to uphold the responsibility for which the fourth grade of hierarchy has been burdened. In an Aquarian age, you carry burdens. This is the age of the burden carrier, and all who are truly disciples and members of the new group of world servers will be carrying their burdens during this coming Aquarian age. Analogously, we might say water is rather heavy. Have you ever tried to pick up a gallon or a cubic foot of water? Carrying the burdens is heavy process. So we have to learn how to deal with the fullness of human nature, which it seems we have always been somehow avoiding. There will be no sweeping it under the rug, no evasion, no simple projection of our unassimilated negativities upon others. And this means the necessity to grow up psychologically. The fourth ray will bring that with us, the possibility of growing up psychologically, and we must admit that in many of our responses, humanity has not been especially mature. And maybe we too have had our immature moments, I don't know. Perhaps. This more complete look at the full range of human nature will be the function of the new esoteric psychology now emerging into prominence under a fourth ray master and reinforced by the fifth ray, which studies the science of esoteric psychology, and of course the second ray. The so-called Master P, Polydorus Iserenius, is very much connected with fourth ray and the development of psychology. And while we're becoming mature under this impending fourth ray, we will discover that we cannot dispose of the opposites. The opposite we don't like. We like this part of it, we don't like that part of it. We can't dispose of that as we have done under the sixth ray, but we'll have to put them together. There must be what is called the assimilation of the opposites in this coming age of wholeness. And this will require a lot of humility, a sense of right proportion, which the fourth ray operating well can give us. The humility to recognize the new psychology that so much that lies outside of the so-called middle area of consciousness, our lower unconscious mind, our superconscious, we have just not recognized, we have not assimilated. But the fourth ray is marvelous because it puts all of this together, the high and the low in a certain respect, using the planet Mercury. We can scour the lower depths, we can ascend to the heights, and somehow we can integrate all of this, and that will really help the seventh ray, which says the highest and the lowest meet. So under this fourth ray will emerge what I call the will to reconciliation, finding, that's within ourselves and within society, finding a justifiable place for all of those cross currents which we would rather reject and have nothing to do with, thinking we're just quite fine in our present level of integration. But no, we have to assimilate these cross currents and harmonize them and reconcile them, and for 720 years we're going to have the chance to do that, because Saturn will be really strong for 100 years plus 720, and it will cause a lot of trouble. It will cause a lot of having to face, well, the trouble is good because it's opportunity, right? It will cause having to face the difficulties that are existent within us and within society, and these will have to be reconciled. So let's hope that the fourth ray stays with us a good long time. You can think about Saturn in Aquarius. We're really going to have to learn to get along, and we're going to have to learn to share. It's amazing, it's a question of distribution. Not everybody can have it all. Not everybody can have nothing. It's Saturn in Aquarius forcing a certain responsible social kind of adjustment between us. And the fourth ray will be needed because lots of people won't really like that business of sharing. We're supposed to break bread together in the Aquarian age under the Christ impulse, and people will not like that if they live according to their lunar nature. So there will be a great need for the harmonization of evident conflicts, and all of us, being hopefully, disciples in the making, are coming under Saturn right now. So we're doing this in our own nature. If we can work at the necessary harmonization of our own nature, we can contribute to the resolution of the many conflicts with which humanity is beset. We have to do it first, and then we can be examples for others. There is another great opportunity during the age of Aquarius in which the fourth ray will be operative, and it's also a great danger. When we think of the number 4, we realize that the coming year will also be a period of personality expression, which can be either good or bad, because the number 4 is specifically associated with the personality. The four personality elementals, when combining, can make a very potent and resistant unit against the soul. And it feels just fine because it's expressing itself. So when personality comes in, as DK tells us, a whole new era of hierarchical ingenuity will be required to handle that. He already tells us, about the emergence of the mental magicians and the white magicians. There's a duality. They're both working magic, but one of them is under the number 4 in a lower way, and the other is under the law of magnetic control in a higher way. So selfishness versus unselfishness is a big fourth ray issue, and we're going to have to deal with that quite soon. So under this fourth ray influence, the true image of humanity, let us hope, will emerge, and we're going to learn what it means to be divinely human. We have to learn to define the human being as other than an animal. And you know the scientists love to do that right now, the naked ape and all of that. We're sort of looked at in our animal nature entirely, as if we have nothing to do but gratify that nature. And that anybody who thinks otherwise is simply thinking in a fatuous way, but that is not true. According to HPB, the human being is an animal plus a living God. And that's that fourth ray contrast that we have to somehow emphasize because we are penetrating these higher levels where we know the living godness of humanity. So the fourth law of the solar system, which is called the law of magnetic control, which is the way the angel part of us controls the animal part of us, will come into existence, and we have to emphasize the angelic aspect of the human being. And that will come in under the fourth ray too, because of the fourth initiation, you know, you get your wings, as it is said. My wife too always emphasizes that until the fourth initiation, we're just an elemental as far as the solar logos is concerned. But after the fourth initiation, we become a bit of a little deva, and that is always a plus. Okay, so this will lead to the possibility of wholeness of the human being. The possibility of integrating, and that's one of the great gifts of the fourth ray, wholeness achieved through conflict. Harmony, wholeness, and you know, we're tired of being fragmented. DK tells us our fragmentation is causing all of our misery, our cleavages. The fourth ray can bridge this, and that is in general the case. Even the sign, you know, the sign Jupiter, the glyph of Jupiter looks like a number 4. And Jupiter is exalted in the sign Cancer, which is the fourth sign, and rules the personality elemental. So we're really coming into many number 4 indications, which will lead to our wholeness. Well, let's see, I'm just about finished here. The spirit of man will emerge under the fourth ray because we are the fourth creative hierarchy, the fourth creative hierarchy of human monads. And we have to learn what it means to truly be a member of that reconciling hierarchy, bringing together the highest creative hierarchies and the lowest. We have a middle position right now, and mostly we've been acting as if we're not quite human, and we're really busy down there identifying with the lower creative hierarchies, and we have to learn to stop that. Closing, I would like to say on a practical note that under the influence of the fourth ray, we will see the emergence into power of that inter-ashramic group called the New Group of World Servers. Now, you sometimes think that to be a member of the New Group of World Servers, all you have to do is just have, have a little goodwill, which you do have to have. But when DK started talking about who the New Group of World Servers were, it became evident that they were initiates of the second degree, and that they should look and keep an outlook for initiates of the first and second degree and identify them and help them work. So to be a member of the New Group of World Servers in the real sense is no small matter. That group is ruled by the fourth ray, and it's ruled by the sign Taurus, through which the fourth ray comes very powerfully, bringing illumination. The number of potentials before us are tremendous. Today we will, and in subsequent days, we will have people emphasizing these potentials from all different angles, and I hope that by the time our conference is over, you will be fully imbued with the higher aspects of the fourth ray, able to overcome the conflicts which beset you, and enter into the joy, which is the prerogative of the plane of harmony and beauty, the plane of pure reason, the fourth ray plane, the Buddhic plane. Good morning.